All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the raw pet food revolution. We're going to be exploring how a brand called Paws is really spearheading this massive shift in how we care for our animals. So, if you're curious about how pet nutrition is rapidly moving away from the old school, traditional methods, well, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
I want to kick things off with a super simple, but honestly, absolutely crucial question. What is really going into your pet's bowl? I mean, think about it. Day in and day out, meal after meal, what are we actually scooping out for our dogs and cats? For decades, right, a lot of us just kind of assumed that whatever tumbled out of that giant heavy bag from the grocery store was, a perfectly healthy, complete diet. But today, we're going to challenge those assumptions. We're going to break down exactly what makes a truly biologically appropriate meal for your furry best friends. Now, the core dilemma we're looking at is perfectly captured right here. Take a look at the side with a green check mark. You've got this stunning array of vibrant whole ingredients. We're talking rich salmon fillets, fresh raw meats, bone, quail eggs, and even these colorful veggies like pumpkin, broccoli, and blueberries. I mean, it literally looks like a feast. Now contrast that with the red X side. What do we have? A bowl overflowing with this monotonous, brown, factory-made, dry kibble, complete with a little smokestack factory icon. It's crazy, right? The visual difference between natural vitality and heavily processed convenience is just, wow, it's pretty striking. Okay, let's dive into this. Because when you really weigh fresh, whole, raw foods against that heavily processed kibble, the logic behind this whole dietary shift becomes crystal clear. Look, kibble, by its very nature, has to be cooked at crazy high temperatures, just so it can sit on a shelf for years. And that intense factory processing, it can literally cook out the vital, naturally occurring nutrients. On the flip side, the raw food philosophy is all about going back to basics. It's about giving an animal exactly what its digestive system is naturally built to handle: unadulterated meats, fish, and vegetables, just like they'd eat out in the wild. And that brings us right to a brand that has really stepped up as a direct solution to this whole factory kibble dilemma, and that is Paws Pet Food. They are totally dedicated to providing these raw nutrition solutions for both dogs and cats. They're basically giving pet parents a really clear, structured roadmap to finally step away from that highly processed food aisle. You can actually see their core philosophies stamped right on their packaging. It says, "Delightful and delicious pet products made by pet parents." And that is not just some catchy marketing slogan. It really defines how they operate. They view their whole business through the lens of a pet parent. They are people who genuinely love their animals and want to feed them with the exact same care and top-notch quality they'd give their own human family members. It instantly builds this great connection, doesn't it? Moving on to Section 1, Signature Blend Pet Food, Raw Meat Rolls. This line is essentially the bedrock of their whole raw feeding program. Whether you're looking for a poultry base, like the chicken recipe, or maybe a red meat base, like their beef recipe, having these beautifully ground, fresh, raw meat options really shows off the variety they offer. And this is a real game changer because for pets with specific allergies or picky dietary preferences, having clear-cut choices like this means you can create a highly customized, structured meal plan for them. No more guessing games. Now, Paws takes that protein variety to a whole new level with their specialty surf and turf blend. By combining a beef and mackerel recipe, they are intentionally bringing together land and sea proteins. It's such a brilliant way to naturally stack a ton of diverse nutritional benefits into just one meal. You get the rich iron and protein from the beef, perfectly fused with those powerful omega fatty acids from wild-caught mackerel. Best of both worlds, really. When you actually look closely at these surf and turf ingredients, the transparency is just absolutely fantastic. Notice what's missing? There are no unpronounceable chemicals, no weird artificial dyes, no cheap fillers. Instead, it perfectly mirrors a nutrient-dense, whole prey diet. So right alongside the muscle meat and that wild-caught mackerel, they are including the bone and the vital organs, stuff like heart, tongue, liver, kidney, and spleen. And this is super crucial because in the wild, these organs act like nature's multivitamins. They deliver highly concentrated, easily absorbable nutrients that our pets are evolutionarily hardwired to digest. Section 2, freeze-dried feeding options. Because let's be totally realistic for a second. Managing raw, frozen meat rolls just isn't practical for everyone's lifestyle. So, building on everything we just talked about, Paws also offers these amazing freeze-dried lines for both their chicken and beef recipes. And they come in these incredibly convenient resealable bags that are specifically designed to lock in all that freshness.
You can even spot the little badges on there highlighting that the food is pet tested and approved and made with love. It is the exact same commitment to premium quality we just saw, but in a totally different, super accessible format. The real magic here is that the freeze-drying process pulls all the moisture out of the raw ingredients, but it does it without ever touching those high-heat cooking methods used for factory kibble. So what does that mean for you? It means you get to enjoy absolutely all the nutritional perks of a raw diet, but with the ultimate ease of a pantry-friendly scoop and serve meal. Literally, you don't even need a freezer for this. You just pop open the bag, scoop it right into the bowl, and boom, you are serving top-tier raw nutrition. It completely solves the whole convenience issue without sacrificing a single health benefit. How cool is that? Well, we have covered a lot of ground in this explainer today. We've looked at the pretty stark contrast between factory kibble and fresh raw food, and we've broken down exactly how Raw Paws pet food structures their frozen and their freeze-dried options. So I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Now that you're armed with this clear understanding of ingredients, processing, and what biologically appropriate nutrition actually looks like, how do you plan to upgrade your pet's bowl? Thanks so much for hanging out and diving into this with me. Keep learning, keep asking those great questions, and we'll see you next time.
Ready to give your pup the ultimate bowl upgrade? Click the link in the description to shop our premium freeze-dried and frozen raw dog food today.